All right, again, my name is Kate with Scott Leroy Marketing. Today we're going to be going over campaigns in Command. Now, more specifically, we're going to be taking a look at creating an email campaign that you can then email out to your entire database, okay? So we're going to take a look at creating one from scratch. We're also going to take a look at the templates that are available in the Command platform and how you can use and customize those as well, okay? Um, All right, so without further ado, the first thing we want to do is log into our command platform, okay? So uh, as soon as you're logged into command, you'll see a screen that is similar to mine. This home screen here can be customized a little bit. So if you are seeing different information first or not at all, you can customize this for whatever is best for you. So there is a little button here. The next thing we want to take a look at, you guys, is going to be a little bit new for this class, but we need to check out the websites applet, okay? So generally, we would have gone to the marketing profile that used to be under the drop-down by your name. However, now they've moved that marketing profile into your websites, okay? The reason for that is that this profile pulls all of the details to your website, but it also pulls some of those details to your marketing in command, okay? So we want to go ahead and hit Manage Settings. And once we hit Manage Settings, you're going to see that we have a lot of the information that used to exist in our marketing profile. So this is where we can edit our basic details, our photos, things like that. So we're going to go through a few that are important for today's class. Now keep in mind, each of these different categories on the left-hand side, you will need to save each of these individually as you are going through them, okay? So first thing first, you want to edit your contact information, phone numbers, email, website, your brokerage information, okay? So you can find your Market Center specific logo that is specific to your office and all of their brokerage details here. So name, phone, street address, license number if you have it. Once you have all of that in, make sure you hit that save button so any of those changes are updated, okay? You'll get a green banner at the top once that's saved. Your photo, this is where you can edit your headshot, okay? It is recommended that it be a 360 by 360 pixel. What is really great about this new profile is it now allows you to crop your photo, okay? So this is new. You used to have to crop it outside of command and then upload it. You can now crop it within here and go ahead and save that update right there, okay? Team logo. Team logo is especially important for today's class. The team logo is going to pull into our design today, whether we are on a team or not. So having an image here, whether it is a team logo or not, is going to be very important because if you do not have a photo here, your email campaign may look as though there is a broken image when that is sent out to contacts. So if you're on a team, great, go ahead and add your team logo here. If you are not on a team, a couple of alternatives are a generic KW logo, not specific to your office. You can also add your headshot here as a second option, and I'll show you in the email campaign where that will actually pull to, so you can determine what you like the best, okay? Once you're done adding those photos, go ahead and hit that save button again. And it's just going to ask me if I want to save my changes. I'm not going to. Details, your first name, last name, license number. Again, not required, but very important specifically for today's class, as well as your title, designation. Those things are going to be very important. Some designs will pull that information as a merge tag. And if that information is missing from your profile, you may see an error, okay? So again, not required, but very important. License number, title, designations, and credentials. And of course, make sure your bio is updated here. It won't pull a lot, but you can pull this in. So anything in your profile can be pulled in as a merge tag, or most things can be pulled in as a merge tag to your email campaigns. So just keep that in mind. Go ahead and hit that save when you're done. We're going to skip over preferences. This is just specific to your website. Legal, footer, and compliance. Some of these can also be pulled as a merge tag to your designs today. So if you're in an office that requires specific compliance, legal, footer, text, or images, you can go ahead and add those here, okay? Uh, again, links, photos, and text at the bottom. If you're not sure if your office has those requirements, definitely reach out to your Market Center staff, whether that be your MCA, compliance coordinator, broker in charge, someone like that. They'll be able to give you those specifics. Moving down, you have your socials. Definitely make sure these are updated. These will be your public-facing URL to view those profiles. Referral links we're going to skip over, forced registration and domain, also not really important for today's class. So just go through each of those, save every item, and then go ahead and navigate back to your homepage. All right, so again, we're going to focus on email campaigns. We're going to get started on creating one now. We're first going to create the email design. We're then going to create our email list and then go over how to send that out to our database, okay? So the first thing we want to do for today's class is actually navigate to our designs platform, or applet. So that looks like a canvas with a paintbrush on top. So we're going to go ahead and head there. Now, once you do that, you may see some designs here. This is only if you've previously created some within your command, or your command. If you're not seeing any, that is okay. It just means you haven't started anything just yet. Now, next, we're going to go ahead and hit Create Design in the top right corner. If you are on a smaller device or desktop, you may have a green or the teal plus sign in the bottom right corner instead. So if you're not seeing Create Design, check there. Once we hit Create Design, we're going to go ahead and select Email and Next. And now you'll see we're brought into some of KWRI's templates. These are various different email templates they've already created. You can come in and customize them. You can fully customize them as well. If there's featured homes and you want to use it for upcoming events, however you want to tweak these templates, that is exactly what they are, templates for you to customize, okay? Before we jump into a template, we're going to create a design from scratch. So instead of selecting one of these, we're going to go ahead and do Create New Template in the top right corner. From there, we're going to be brought into our design email editor, okay? We can give our email a title. Always keep it pretty simple. This title is internal use only. No one but you is going to see that title, okay? Moving to the right, you're going to have some options. You have the ability to preview your email, send a test email, as well as download a template. You then have save and close and exit, okay? Moving to our next banner, you have some different preview options. If you want to see what this email will look like on the various devices, you can kind of thumb through those. So there is, of course, desktop, tablet, as well as a mobile device, okay? Moving over, you're going to have view components. That's going to allow you to see the different pieces of your design as you start creating it. You have preview, undo, and redo, of course. And then moving over to the right, this is where you're going to start building your design, okay? So you have blocks, which is what we're on. That is our layout and content options. You also have background. If you want to change the background color, if you'd like to make it any color other than white, you can do that here. It's going to change the whole background. I'm going to stick to white today. I feel like the red's a little hard on the eyes, but you can change the color however you'd like. You can also upload an image if you'd like to have an image as your background. We'll just grab one that's already in here just so you can see what that looks like. That is what that will look like, okay? And I'm going to go ahead and go back to color, and we're going to leave this as white. Now, of course, you can also adjust a few other settings here, your width of your email, so how wide would you like that, as well as the padding. Padding is kind of the border around it, and you'll kind of see that as we go through some other items here, okay? Moving back over to the blocks. You can build a layout for your design if you'd like. You have the ability to add a column. You can do 2 columns, 3. You can do a 3, a 7. You can also add a divider. Maybe you just want to create some space between. These green lines are going to indicate where that is going to drop at. So you may have to kind of wiggle it around to get it where you want. If we were to add it here over the one item, it's only going to add that divider over the one space, okay? A lot of things in command designs here where we're at are drag and drop, okay? So we are just dragging and moving that around to get it where we want it, okay? You can also click on the item, move it up, down. You can also click on the item and delete, okay? When you're deleting something like this, you have to click the entire space. So as you can see, these 2 columns, I'm only clicked on the one box, which is great because that allows me to start customizing it. But if I want to remove that, I have to click outside of it and then delete, okay? So same for these, I would need to click on the outside box and delete, okay? And once you're in your column, of course, you can change the color like we just took a look at. You can also add a border. You can change the width of that. It's going to make a thicker border or not. You can make it however you'd like. Let's just do 5, keep it a little bit thinner. You can add a border radius. This is going to round those edges, okay? So round your corners. You also have border color, if you'd like to change that. Let's go with this red color. You can also use the hex number if you have it and like to use that, okay? So that's always an option as well. We're gonna go ahead and go back. And those are your layout pieces. Now, you are not required to create a layout. You can just start pulling in the contents of your email, but you can certainly use those layouts if you want to have columns or things like that. We're going to go ahead and go down to our divider next. This is the same. You can also make that a bigger one. That's going to increase how big that line is. So if we go back to 5, you can also change the color. What's great is you can use this dropper as well. So if you're trying to pull in colors from your design, make things the same color, you can do that on here as well, okay? The padding. Let's see if I can kind of show you what this looks like here. As you can see, it is creating space above and below the line, okay? So it's kind of that border around the item. Same if we do it here, it's going to make it shorter, okay? So that is your padding. It's creating the space around the item that you're editing. You can change the position as well, left, right, center. I'm going to go ahead and delete the divider for now. And we're going to move into our contents, okay? So the first thing I always like to start with when I'm creating an email design is the legal header, okay? We're going to add that at the top. And then we're also going to pull in our legal footer, okay? Now, as you can see, these appear that they need to be edited. They look like they're missing information, and I need to plug that in. This is where that profile we took a look at is coming into play, okay? It is pulling all of those details from that profile into this design. There is no option to edit these outside of that profile, okay? So to make sure these are working and everything is pulling as it should, you can use your little eyeball to preview your email. That's going to let you see those different pieces of information, your logos, your headshot, your personal details, market center. This is that team logo. If you do not have a team logo here and you email this out, 9 times out of 10, you're going to have a little icon like this on the actual email that goes out to your contacts, okay? So it appears like there is a broken image there and something didn't work, okay? So again, if you need to add any of these details in your header or your footer, that is done in that profile under your website's applet, okay? Moving to our next section, we're going to go ahead and pull in some text. I had something pulled up I was going to use just to get a sample. Can't find it right now, so we'll go ahead and just type something here. We'll just type hello, and then let's say we want to actually address our contact. These are the merge tags. that are pulling information like this as well, and you can include them in your actual text of your email. So with that being said, your merge tags, you of course have your agent details. It will pull any of those details from your profile down to your bio, designations, license number, etc. Okay. So that's why I said if you pull one of these and it's not in your profile, you may see an error when you're trying to send this. Even those social links, if you don't have them in your profile and you're trying to pull them, it's going to give you an error. Moving down, you have your market center, so you can also pull market center details from that profile, as well as that footer, that legal footer text, okay? Lastly, you have contacts, okay? So you can pull in any of the contact details you're seeing here, and it will pull it from their contact card. Now, keep in mind, if you're pulling home anniversaries or birthdays and your contact that you're sending this to doesn't have it, you may get an error, okay? But every contact should have a first name, so we're going to go ahead and use that one. And now our text says hello, and when this goes out, it will insert their first name. Now, once you have some text here, you can change the font, you can change the size, you can even change the color if you'd like. So if you want to do a red or blue, whatever, these are unfortunately the only options with text currently. So hopefully down the road, they'll have more customization there, but currently those are the only colors. You can do bold, italic, underlined. You can change the alignment of your text. There's numbers, bullets, etc. You have links, emojis. You can add any of that here, okay? I'm going to keep our text really simple. This is all we're going to add for right now. Moving down, you'll usually always see the styling section. So you have the width again. This will determine how wide that box is and the contents of it. You can, again, adjust that padding. That's going to create the space around it, okay? Border, you can add that border again. That will add it right around that text, okay? And same as before, you can adjust the color, the radius, etc. Okay? Now we're going to remove that border. Looks a little silly to me. And once you're done, just go ahead and go back and start pulling in the next item. So the next thing we're going to take a look at is, of course, the image. I'm going to put that in the column up here, and we're going to pull in an image. Now, when you are seeing the My Images, this is only going to pull images you have previously uploaded and used in an email design only, okay? So this is not showing your social media graphics that you've created in Command. It is not showing things on your computer. It is only giving you options for photos you've previously uploaded in the email editor section and used on a previous email design, okay? If your photo is not here yet, you're just going to go straight to Add Images, and we're going to go ahead and find the image we want to use. So let me see if I have one I can drag over from my computer. There we go. So I'm just going to drag this August newsletter header. So my photo's down here now. I still need to click it and hit save. That's going to add that photo into that little space, okay? Now, if I need to go back and edit my column, I can. If I want to switch the color and pull it from this red, I can do that. But that's how you pull that in, okay? So now if we were to come in and replace this, that photo is going to be the first one I see, okay? Because I've already used it in the design. So you can, of course, replace. You can link that to a specific page. So if you want them to click on that image and be redirected, you can do that. And then add that URL or merge tag. Again, that width, it's going to make the image smaller, padding the position, and again, that radius, okay? Go ahead and go back. Actually, let me put this back to all right, so that is adding an image, okay? Now with the image, you can also pull in through listings, okay? So you can search for listings. This will pull directly from the MLS. You can search by the listing, any listings or just yours. You can search by the address, MLS number, or KWLS ID, okay? And we'll take another look at this in just a second. So I'm going to delete that for now. Next is a button, okay? Button is pretty simple. It is just quite literally a button in your email. They can click on that. It will redirect them to whatever website or URL you'd like to send them to. You can change what it says. Maybe you want them to register for an upcoming event. There we go, register here. I'm just going to grab a URL and we'll just drop it here. So if you had a Google form or a different registration form that you'd like them to be redirected to so they can register. Maybe it's for a class or an upcoming event or a first-time homebuyer seminar. Whatever it is, you can have a button with a link to redirect them to that page. Moving down, you have some options with the button. Do you want to fill the content of your button, so the text that we're putting in, or do you want to fill the entire container? Okay, so that is up to you. You can, again, change that color. You can use the dropper or just pick a color. You can change the font, whatever font you'd like to use. Change the size. You can change the text color, okay? So if you want to change that as well, you can. Just an option. Again, your padding, same as every other place, position, and of course the border. Okay, so those are all going to be the same as we've seen in previous sections. Okay, once you're done, that will be clickable when whoever is viewing your email views it. Now next, we've covered the header and the footer. Next is a listing block. Okay, so let's go ahead and drag this over. Now this allows us to pull in a listing, okay? You see we have a new option, autofill from listing. And go ahead and click on that. And this is going to allow us to search for any listing and pull that in. Now I'm not going to search for one, I'm just going to grab one off the front page here. So we're going to go ahead and go with this one. Again, it's going to pull all those photos from the MLS. You can decide which one you'd like to show. I'm just going to go ahead and grab one of these top ones and we're going to hit select. Now, what's great about these listing boxes is it also plugs in all of the details that are listed in the MLS, okay? So we have the street address, the price, the beds, bathrooms, square footage. Now, all of that can still be adjusted over here if you need to. You have the option to add a link, okay? This is a great way to redirect them to an open house sign-in sheet or just a page for the property. So let's go ahead and just pull that up really quick. Oops, I can't type. Let's see if I can find this property on Scott's site really quick. And in case you didn't know, the blue dot is always going to indicate the active listing. I think that was Texas. Maybe it wasn't. Hopefully I grabbed it right. Nope, it wasn't. That's okay. We're going to pretend it's the same property just to save some time. So I know it's not the same property. We're going to act like it is. We're going to grab this URL. And then when they click on that, it will redirect them to that specific property's information. Okay. Moving down, again, you have your font. You can change it to make it consistent throughout your entire email. It will change the font over here. You can change that text color. Again, totally up to you if you'd like to do that. It will change all of it. Just a great way to keep consistency throughout the email. You can change the position of it, left, right, center. And then lastly, you have a new option for the layout, okay? This one does give you a vertical option, which goes up and down versus a horizontal. Now keep in mind, if you are creating this horizontal and viewing it on your mobile device, it's going to appear vertical, okay? Always take a look at your mobile just to make sure everything looks okay. You can't fully customize it for mobile unless you're creating it in this view, okay? We're going to go back. Again, you can swap that and make it however you'd like. Moving back. You can add as many of these listing blocks as you want. It's going to have you pull the listing for every single one and pull all those details. Our next content piece is an event block, okay? Now, an event block is great. Maybe you have an open house coming up. Maybe you have a first-time homebuyer seminar. or a client event that you'd like to invite people to. This is a great way to do that because it allows you to add an image, the date and time, the title, a description, and a button, okay? Now, these items can't be individually deleted. So if you are not looking for all of these pieces, you may want to just create it with text, button, and image by itself. Maybe you don't want all three of these text boxes, or maybe you don't want a button. You may want to do it outside of the event, okay? Once you have this event here, though, you can go ahead and find your photo. Let's see if I've got one really quick that we can use. All right, just looking for my photo here. And I'm not finding the one I was looking for, so we're going to skip that. We'll just grab one that's here. See if I have an event-focused one. If not, we'll just do one of these. We'll pretend we're doing an open house one. We'll say that this is this weekend. Let's do August. Let's do 17th from 1 to 3 p.m. We'll just leave it like that. Of course, as always, you have your styling, width, border, or padding and border. And change the text, size, add merge tags if you want. You can also change that color and things like that, same as any other text box. Moving down, we're just going to say we have an open house. We're going to keep this pretty simple. I'm going to leave the description alone, but of course you could pull the description from the property, or if you have details about your event coming up, and then the button, okay? Same button as the one up above. So more information here, maybe they can sign up or click to go to the full property page, whatever you'd like, and then you can add that. All of these same options are available: color, font, text color, etc. And that is your event. And of course, if you need to delete that, you always want to click on that outer box and hit that delete. Okay. You can also duplicate an item. That will make a second one exactly the same. So if you ever need to do that and just swap out photos or something like that, that's an easy way to do it. Moving down, our next content piece is a video. Now the video is going to allow you to enter a URL. Your videos for this specific section of command does have to be a public video. So you would need to add that to YouTube or a similar platform so that you have a URL for that video. I'm going to come in here and just grab one from yesterday's class. We're going to go ahead and post that URL. Now, you're not going to get a preview. You have to add your own photo as a thumbnail, okay? So you can hit replace. I know this isn't the same class. We're just going to grab that one and we're going to replace, okay? Again, your padding, if you want to make it smaller or bigger, you can. Or I'm sorry, your width, your padding, same, all the other things are exactly the same as well. Last thing we're going to take a look at before we move into templates is this market snap, okay? So we're going to pull that in. You'll see it gives you kind of a little neighborhood statistics. So it will have a place for a photo and then statistics. Now this specific piece cannot be super customized, but we can go ahead and pull in a zip code, pull a random zip code here. It's for Orlando. It's going to allow us to select a specific neighborhood, okay? It looks like you can leave it on just Orlando. It's going to pull this specific area right here. I'm not sure if it's pulling a neighborhood or not with that. Usually it doesn't populate until you select the neighborhood. So once you select your neighborhood, it will have the map for that neighborhood. It will also have the statistics that are available for that neighborhood. Now, when I said you can't customize this very much, it's because the statistics and the map you cannot customize. You cannot adjust or make edits to. So the statistics that are pulling, if you don't like them, you most likely will just want to create your own graphic, your own image with those statistics that you found and add your image instead, okay? But if you like this and you like the statistics that are pulling, you can go ahead and adjust the name, whatever you'd like. You can change that font again, color. It's going to change the top. You can also change the body text. I will change down here. Padding, position, etc. All of those things can still be adjusted. Okay. All right. And that is your neighborhood. Now, we've created a really random newsletter here. I wouldn't actually send this out, but this is just to give you an idea how to use each of these different pieces. One thing I want to show you really quick before we exit out of this page is that to check and make sure this contact merge tag is working, you can go ahead and hit this preview again. We now have a search contacts option that we didn't have before. Okay, so we can go ahead and pull in a contact name and it's going to edit that so we can see what it looks like. Okay. We can also send ourselves a test email. You can go ahead and enter an email there. Let me see if I can pull in the email and send this. And while I'm waiting on that, I'm going to go ahead and save and close. Let me check my email here. All right, so now that I've done that, I'm going to pull my email over so you guys can see it too. We now have a new test email, okay? It's going to look like this when it comes over. It's going to come from agent, a bunch of numbers at mailer.kw.com. Any email that you send through the command platform will come from an email like this. There is no option to adjust that email. The only things you can change are the email that replies go to and the sender name that appears. So the name that's going to appear. Replies, so when someone replies to this email, you can adjust what email those are sent to. And I'll show you how to do that in a second. One thing I want to point out, it is not pulling a contact name, okay? When we send a test email, we are only entering an email. There is no contact or contact name associated with that email. So it is not going to plug that in, okay? So just keep that in mind. You will be able to check and make sure links are working. You can see that those are redirecting you, so that's a great way to check those. Same for here, except I didn't add one there. Your video, etc. So just make sure everything is working. One thing I also like to point out, when you are sending a test email, it's not going to show you the unsubscribe option, okay? However, any email that you send through the command platform will have an unsubscribe down here in the bottom left corner of their email, okay? So anyone has the ability to unsubscribe. All right, moving to our next section really quick before we actually go into campaigns and try to send this, we're going to take a quick look at the templates. So we're going to hit Create Design and Email again. And we're just going to jump into one of these really fast. So we're going to do Open House. And now that we did that, you'll see that the email is already pretty much built for us. We just need to plug and play and plug in those details, okay? So again, your agent information is automatically going to pull. And to edit each of the different sections, you'll just click into that, okay? So we'll just do Sunday, August 17th, I think I said. You can change the color, the font, etc. if you'd like to. You don't have to. Moving to our next item, image, okay? Now we can hit replace. And in this situation, this is a great one to use the listing images. It will allow us to pull in the photo, okay? So again, I'm just gonna click random house on here. So we'll go with this one. It's gonna pull that photo. Now, I just wanna mention in doing that, it is not plugging in the street name, the bedrooms, bathrooms, any of that. You will need to manually edit that, okay? I'm not going to edit that because I didn't write down the information, but you will want to come in and edit each of these pieces of the information, okay? Square footage, price, etc. Okay? Moving down, you'll notice we're going to replace the next image. When we hit replace, we have to find the listing again. So if we had to search for a listing, you would have to search for it again. Mine just shuffled, so that one disappeared. But we would have to go in and find that listing manually. each time to add a photo. The only alternative is, of course, if this is your listing and you have the photos, you can add it that way. Okay, you can upload them from your computer. Moving down, this is another text box. This is one I like to point out. It is pulling agent designations. It is pulling the agent license number. If those aren't in your profile, you will get an error when you try to send this. You can come in and delete those. If you don't want them in here, you can remove them. But if you have that there and it's not in your profile, you will most likely get an error, okay? And that is it. That's how you edit those templates. It is pretty simple because you don't have to do a lot of the work. It's already kind of created for you, but everything will be there. I'm going to save and close. And now we're going to move into the actual campaigns and how to create those email lists and how to add or get our contacts sent those emails. So we're going to go to campaigns. And for this one, we're going to go straight to emails. You will see your dashboard here. It's going to give you kind of an overview of everything in your email campaigns. You'll see how many emailed in the last 30 days. You can change that. You'll see recipients, opens, and clicks. You can search for emails that you've sent. You can see them sorted by mailed, scheduled, archived, drafted, or everything. You can filter them by the selected goal. So as you create one, you will select a goal. You can filter them by the channel, either command mail or MailChimp. And then, of course, you can create your email list. We're going to do this in just a second. But down below, you have the overview, the name of the email campaign. Again, this is just the internal name. This is for you. You'll see the status, drafted, mailed, canceled, etc. You'll have all of those. Date sent, how many were sent, opens, clicks, the goal. And then you'll have 3 dots to edit, duplicate, or archive. Once it is canceled or sent, you will only have duplicate or archive. Now, if we were to click into one of these, let's go ahead and go into this one here. You'll see we have a lot more things to click on. We can see how many were sent, who it was delivered to, who actually opened the email, who clicked on something, who unsubscribed, who it was not sent to, or they just didn't open it. So you can go through each of those. It will give you name, email, etc. And you can click into your contact if you want. Okay, so great way to see if people are reading your emails or whatever. You have 3 dots to add tags. You can go straight into their contact card. And specifically for not sent, you can resend them. So it makes it really easy. Now we're going to go ahead and jump into email lists, and then we'll send our email. So from here, you get to create a group of people you would like to email. Even if you want to email your entire database, you have to add them to an email list. With that being said, if you are using tags to add specific people to a specific email list, and you are adding new contacts to your database with that same tag, your email list will not automatically update. You will need to manually update it each time to make sure all contacts with that tag are on the list, okay? So let's go ahead and create one. Let's do create list. And for this one, we're going to find some tags. Whoops, going too far. Load more. We're going to find our class one, class demo. And from here, we're going to find all of the contacts we want to email. If there were more, you would have load more. If you have a lot of contacts you're trying to add, I would load everyone and then come to the top and hit select all. And that will allow you to select everyone. You'll see we have 6 selected. Let's go ahead and make our name. We'll do class 814. Oops. And we're going to just add all 6 of these people. So let's go ahead and hit confirm. Now we have our new list. I can come in and edit. I can also delete. It's up to you if editing or creating a new one each time to make sure all contacts are on that is easier, whichever you think you can do. But now that we have our list, we're going to go ahead and create. And we're going to select email. Again, we're under campaigns and we're creating an email campaign now. So let's do August newsletter. And we're just going to do other, since this is kind of just a random newsletter with a lot of information. And you get to select if you are using Command Mail or MailChimp. Now we're only using Command Mail. You get 5,000 per month that you can use, that's included. Anything over 5,000, you can upgrade your account and send more. We're going to hit create. And now we're going to build our entire email so we can send it out, okay? So campaign name, this is internal. Account that we're using, send to, this is where we're going to pull in our list. You create a list here as well. We just find that we run into less errors when we create the list first. Send from, okay, this is that sender name and the email that any replies will go to. If you'd like to edit that, you can hit edit. It will redirect you. You can also just come into your settings in Command and it will bring you to the same place. For Command Mail, you're going to scroll down, find it right here under Email Services, and you can hit Manage. This is not only where you can change that sender name and reply email, it is also where you can upgrade your subscription if you do need more than 5,000. You can also see where you're at, if you've sent close to 5,000, if you're nowhere near, etc. There's no rollover with this, it's just 5,000 per month, okay? Moving down, that sender name, this is where you can customize who that shows up as when it arrives in their inbox, and you can change your reply to email. You can delete, you can just type a new one, whatever you want, and then save changes. Once you have that edited, you can create your subject. This is what the contacts will see when they receive this in their inbox. So whatever you'd like to title that or word that. Obviously try to make it something catching that somebody's going to want to click on. August newsletter. Depends on the person, I guess. And then lastly, you want to select your content, okay? This is where we want to pull in that design that we created, okay? When you select this, you will only see email designs. If you created a social or a print design, they're not going to pull up. It would have had to have been created as an email design, okay? They are very different. It's going to pull up your design, allow you to make any last minute changes you may want to make, edits, and then we're going to hit X because we're not making any changes. We can preview our design, make sure everything is good to go. And then all we do is we can either preview that again, send a test email again, save the draft so we can come back to it. We can schedule it to go out at a certain time, or we can go ahead and send it right now. I'm going to hit save. And that is it. Once you hit send and it is processing, you will see a status of processing, and that will stay that way for about 24 hours. After 24 hours that it has been sending, you'll start to see it update and it will start to give you details as to opens, clicks, sends, etc. But it will generally show processing for about 24 hours, okay? So that is email campaigns. I see there's a few questions in the chat. I'm going to jump into that now. That is everything I want to show you guys today, though. So if you are happy with what you've learned, you don't have any questions, you can certainly hop off. That is totally fine. I'm going to hang around and go over any questions you guys might have. So stick around if you have any and drop those in the chat for me. And if you have questions after you get off, you can email us. Our email is support@scottleroymarketing.com. We're here for troubleshooting, just questions, training, whatever you might have. You can always reach out to us. I'm going to stop record and go over all these questions with you guys.